So I'm sure many of you are aware of the fact that Chelsea Manning had a fellowship at Harvard and it was revoked. Revoked by the security state. Revoked by the deep state. Can't have Chelsea Manning, a whistleblower, at a prominent university? Wait a minute. I thought universities were like places for education and thought and questioning and challenging the powers that be, right? Isn't that what universities, isn't what they've been like that for a long time? Haven't they been like that for a very, very long time? Oh, not anymore. Now the corporate deep state, the security state, the military-industrial complex, as Chris Hedges talked about in Death of the Liberal Class, has already infiltrated the university, so much so that this happens. Chelsea Manning gets revoked. Her fellowship is revoked for being a whistleblower. And then down the road at Fordham University, they hire a former CIA director that was in favor of torture. So the torture CIA guy gets a fellowship, but the whistleblower doesn't. Do you see the world we're living in? And just so you know, Harvard University is a mega corporation. The Harvard Foundation is worth hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. I don't have the exact figure, but this is what it is. It is not about teaching people to be free thinkers. It's about educating people to be employees and to push the corporate agenda. That's what it's going. And this article in the Intercept that was written by Eoin Higgins came out September 20th. We're going to go into he does and he admits he was in grad school at Fordham, but he goes into some interesting stuff here. So let's. Here's what happened at Harvard. First of all, let's see how Chelsea Manning was treated, just to show you where we're at. The announcement that Manning would be a visiting fellow at the school's Institute of Politics had been met with resistance from current and former denizens of the national security state. A former CIA director resigned his position as a fellow, and President Donald Trump's CIA Director Mike Pompeo withdrew from a planned speech at the school. Mike Pompeo, that Dianne Feinstein and a bunch of other Democrats voted for. Mike Pompeo, pro-torture. Dianne Feinstein voted for him. Voted for his confirmation. Go to cabinetvotes.org. So that's when they named it was going to happen. They were naming Chelsea Manning as then the CIA people went, no, no, no. Oh, that's going to hurt Harvard's money and their power and their influence. Gone. Chelsea Manning, gone. So then 200 miles south of Cambridge, Massachusetts, where Harvard is, an inverse but much quieter debate unfolded after a top CIA veteran was named to an elite university fellowship. And this guy says this security state is poised to win out in this fellowship too. On September 4th, former CIA Director John Brennan began a 2-year stint as a, quote, distinguished fellow for global security. You hear that, college kids? No free thinking. You need to toe the line for the corporate state. You need to toe the line for the NSA and the CIA. That's what you're going to college for, especially if you got a big fancy university like Fordham or Harvard, giving you a fine deep state education. This is Fordham University has a center on national security at Fordham Law. Okay, I see why that should be studied in a law school. So then that is just a big, shiny bullseye for the security state. Oh, if they're teaching that there, they better be teaching our doctrine. They better be teaching what we're talking about. It shouldn't be a law school that's like, wait a minute, what happened since 9/11? It's become a complete surveillance state, this whole country. We've lost personal freedoms, all at the expense of fighting terrorism. No, 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 no. We can't have that kind of hippie socialist nonsense. We need the deep state to tell you how to think. They're doing a fine job of it. Brennan, a 1977 Fordham graduate, will participate in discussions at the school, make himself available to students during office hours, and sit in on classes in advance of teaching his own in the future. Wow. You could study from a guy that's in favor of torture. Some in the Fordham community, including faculty and alumni who were involved in activism against awarding Brennan a 2012 honorary Doctorate of Human Letters from the school, believe naming the former top spy to a fellowship sends the wrong message, especially since he supported. This is what some of the alumni have said. So Safira Laurie, who graduated from Fordham this past year, said, by making him a fellow, Fordham is clearly endorsing the human rights violations committed under Brennan by the CIA through illegal torture and missile strikes. Laurie noted that the administration has, in the past, distanced itself from Brennan's actions at the CIA, but questioned whether his record outside of the CIA merited accolades from the university. Why else would they be giving him an honorary degree and a position as a fellow? Hey, look, that was his job. That was his work job. We can't judge him over that. Yeah, that works if it was like, what? What could you apply that for? Like, it's like, let's say he owned a bar, and they're like, hey... And then someone was like, oh, giving John Brennan a fellowship says that the university is supporting alcoholism. No, wait a minute. He just owns a bar. He just anyone that drinks doesn't necessarily mean they're an alcoholic. That's what they're trying to say. No, he ran the CIA. Let's find out what our boy Johnny Brennan did when he was in charge of the CIA. The Obama, he's been 25 years he's been at the CIA. The Obama era was marked by Brennan's efforts to concentrate the drone assassination program in the executive branch. Boy, did Obama love that. And in particular, the CIA. During the Bush era, Brennan went along with the CIA's institutional propensity for endorsing the use of, quote, enhanced interrogation. That's torture. Brennan's support of the practices was a point of contention during his confirmation hearings of CIA Director in 2013. Brennan denied any involvement and ducked responsibility. I did not take steps to stop the CIA's use of those techniques. I was not in the chain of command of that program. I don't know, some guys in a black site, unknown location, or I don't know, I guess they're saying some mean things to some detainees. I don't know what's going on. The 2014 publication of the Senate Intelligence Committee's report on CIA torture generated more controversy. The Brennan-led CIA hacked into Senate staffers' computers as the report was put together. A subsequent investigation suggested that some of the agents responsible for the hack did so under Brennan's orders. Fordham University then led the Fordham Facility Against Torture, the FFAT, a group formed during the 2013-2014 school year, tried to convince Fordham Board of Trustees to revoke Brennan's honorary degree. So the FFAT was trying to educate people, and it had over 100 over more than 500 full-time members signed the petition and had over 100 people in the facility. Other petitions at like change.org generated over 1,000 signatures to prevent this. So this article, which I'm putting the links below, is goes in depth, but it doesn't look good. Like Brennan's gonna stay at Fordham. This is what the deep state does. And again, if you have not already, please read Death of the Liberal Class, because it talks about how the liberal class, liberal institutions like universities and churches and places like that used to challenge those that were in power, that used to question them, that used to keep in balance and it checks and balances. The CIA is now running universities. Whistleblowers like Chelsea Manning, that was talking about illegal wars in Yemen that Obama was doing, she went to jail for 7 years and now lost a fellowship at Harvard. Wouldn't you, if you were a student at Harvard, who would you want to hear from? Who would you want to have office hours from? What classes would you want to take from? The CIA torture asshole, or somebody that risked prison, went to prison for doing what was right? Who would you want to study from? I ask you that, especially if you're in high school or you're thinking about going to college. Ask yourself that. There's nothing wrong with getting a college degree. I have one, but what is your degree worth now? Is it worth this? I know if you have a Harvard degree, man, you can write your own ticket. It's easy to get work. Shit, in show business, you get a lot of jobs. But what is that degree? Who's signing that? Where is the money that afforded that? It's not your tuition at Harvard. The Harvard Foundation doesn't need your tuition at all. The Harvard University has so much money, and they can't lose their power and influence, which is why they had to get rid of Chelsea Manning. That's why schools like Fordham then need to hire CIA people. Pretty gnarly. Ask questions. If you have any, you're thinking about, you have kids that are going to go to college, ask some real questions. Where is your university? I talk about this all the time. Vote with your dollars. Where is your university spending its money? Where are they? Who are they backing? Who are they hiring? What fellowships are they giving out? What visiting professors and what are their professors' backgrounds? What is going on that campus? Because they're big institutions and they deal with a lot of money. Thanks for watching the show.